It's 4:32, and we are finally ready to turn this thing on. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. Give it a first prime. Make sure we don't have any fuel leaks. One more time. All right, looks good. Don't smell no fuel. It's kind of weird somebody put Teflon there, but I didn't build this car, so. Ready when you are. What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Man, what a long freaking afternoon. We've been fighting this car a lot, and we finally got it turned on. Now, it wasn't something major. If you guys saw the previous video, we pulled the engine out, we did all the mods to it, new drag cartel chain, OEM tensioner, K20 pump, valve lash, new clutch, flywheel, shout out Action Clutch. A lot of good upgrades, and the goal was to get it all put back into the car, but then the block was broken. The new motor mount needed to be made up so we can support the torque of the K24 plus the turbo kit we're going to be doing today in today's video. We did a lot, and we finally got everything all situated and fired over. You guys just heard it. Right now the car currently does not have any coolant, because I know for a sure fact, we test fitted it yesterday, that the wastegate placement on the turbo manifold is going to be in line with one of the heater hoses, so we don't have any coolant in it because we got to pull the housing off to modify to clear around the wastegate. You guys will see it through this video. Again, like the previous video, this is not a tutorial. This is more so of us just really trying to get down to work and get this thing ready for tomorrow, because we have a dyno scheduled. Yeah, you guys saw the car is freaking literally all motor, and we got to put a whole turbo kit together, including exhaust, to get this thing ready for the dyno tomorrow. All right, guys, so before we start mocking up the turbo kit into the car, I kind of want to talk about some of the stuff we're going to be using in today's video. Now, I use a lot of varieties of different brand turbo manifolds, turbos itself, intercoolers and pipings and such, and the stuff that I show here on the channel are stuff that I am comfortable running with. So if you guys ever see any of the stuff I push here on the channel, is because I would rock it again, honestly. But a lot of you guys may not know this, you know, on my personal cars, I always run higher quality stuff. You know what I'm saying? Not all the time I run the lower end stuff, which again works. But for my cars, because I drive long period at a time, not saying that the lower stuff doesn't work. It does work. I just prefer to use, for my personal cars, more of the brand name stuff. You know, Boost Junkie manifold, Precision turbos, and things like that. Project Blueberry, I made the manifold when using Max P and Rod Turbo, eBay intercooler. All that stuff works. So I just thought it was kind of funny. I wanted to talk about this because when we unboxed everything yesterday, if you guys haven't seen the previous video, kind of gave you guys a little glimpse of everything. Today we're going to talk about it a little thoroughly. But I noticed that when we were cutting the box down from the turbo kit unboxing, I saw the tag on it. It said affordableturbokits.com. I ain't never heard of this before, straight up. And a lot of the stuff, I don't even know the brands of it. It's a lot of no-name brand stuff that I've used before, but I kind of want to just show you guys some of the stuff we're rocking and what I think of it. And then we're just going to go ahead and start bolting things up and getting into the engine bay, because honestly, the biggest thing I need to get done before the night falls is to make the downpipe and the dump tube, because that requires a lot of cutting. Cutting means a lot of noises. Intercooler, I'm kind of curious about the intercooler because there's only 4-piece to the turbo kit intercooler system, and I don't know if it's pre-made or pre-bent or pre-fab for the EK, but we're gonna find out. My main stuff is just all the fabrication things. I'm not gonna show you all the little things like bolting up the turbo and bolting up the wastegate and all that little thingamabob. So let's go ahead and set you guys up real quick and show you some of the items that we are running, or in this case, he's running. All right, guys, so I've run a lot of eBay turbo manifolds. I've always felt with the eBay lower end stuff, the material is a lot thinner. This one is, I don't know what brand it is. It literally came in the affordable, literally, look, ATF, affordable turbo kits. I never heard of this before, but honestly, if I was to tell you guys and compare this to something, this is not like true 304 stainless steel like a Speed Factory or a Sheepy or anything like that. I've ran those manifolds. I know the difference in material. This one's a little bit lighter, but it is much heavier than the typical eBay turbo manifold setup. I always call it the ting ting. You know, when you run in one of those like SS Autochromes, they make a tinging noise, like a exhaust piping type of noise. This one's a little thicker. I mean, it still kind of make the ting ting noise, but it's a louder thunk tinking noise. You know what I mean? It sounds like the material is thicker, right? But I will say that this is kind of comparable to like the Rev 9. I ran a couple of Rev 9 manifolds, and their material also thicker. And I'm actually pretty surprised because my arm is really tired holding this thing up with one hand. So we're gonna be rocking this Sidewinder material. Finish is not the greatest, but I mean, it is what it is. They did do a little bit of porting on the inside, so the welds are not blotchy at all. And they did also weld the inside because it's not fully ported, but you know what I'm saying, it's smooth enough. T3 flange, 44 mil wastegate, and this is what we took notice yesterday. We noticed that the wastegate flange is not straight, which means it kicks the wastegate off just a little bit, which I was hoping that it would clear the heater hoses, and it actually clears one. The other one just slightly, but we're going to modify to fully pull the heater hoses away from the wastegate. Again, not a full tutorial video. I'll show you guys what we end up doing, but this is what we're going to be rocking as far as turbo manifold goes. Again, ATF, affordable turbo kits. I guess these guys have their own wastegate. I mean, this is pretty much their own brand. This is a 44 mil gate or 45. I don't truly know, but I've never seen this style before, but practically the same configuration as any of the other ones. We got the bottom vacuum, we got the top, we have a port on the opposite side depending on your positioning. We have the firing ring, the valve. It has a spring in it. I don't know what spring is in here. It did come with a box, so it comes with, you know, variety of other springs, all the clamps, discharge flange, and all of that good stuff. So this right here is what we're going to be rocking, and I'm hoping that this is going to work out. I might have to bring a spare wastegate just in case, but we're going to rock with this one first. Damn, I got extra fancy out here. This is a Pulsar. This is a PSR turbo, and you know, I always try to run like on a K series minimum. It's like a GT3582R turbo, and GT3582R, the Gen 2s that you guys see nowadays, Bull Boost, Jack Spania, PSR, the real deal stuff, you know, Garrett, like Gen 2s and stuff, the G30s and stuff. The GT3582R turbo is good for like 800 horsepower. I've seen it make 800 horsepower right out of the box. But for this turbo kit, I guess one of the selection that Mario picked out was this turbo kit came with a Pulsar GT3076. It's a little small for my likings, but I guess you know, for you quick spool guys, this turbo is actually pretty good, because this is the same one that I ran on my wagon, but cast wheel, not a billet wheel, not a Gen 2. But I know for a sure fact this turbo will still make the power we are shooting for. It's just gonna spool up super quickly, and it may differ as well too, because I've had the 3076 on the wagon and it spooled fast because it's 11-to-1 CR, where this is going on the TSX. It's 10-0-to-1, so it's a flat top piston, and it shouldn't spool it all crazy. But like I said, it's a 3076, and I can already tell you that this has a little bit smaller back housing. I mean, technically not small, it's a 0.82. I run a 106, but hopefully this doesn't spool too crazy, but hopefully we can hit our goals. GT3076 from PSR. It's a little bit you know, it's smaller than my hand, I ain't gonna lie to you guys, but this should definitely do the job. And also because it's a small frame turbo, it'll give us a lot more clearance in the engine bay. Ooh, look at this big boy right here. You know, if you guys are EK owners, you guys got a lot of space in the front bumper and the bumper support area. You can put a pretty large intercooler and still hide it behind the bumper. I've ran a 12x3x27 or a 32 wide and still hide it behind the bumper. So this right here, CX Racing, surprisingly it came with the turbo kit, you know, ATK, affordable turbokits.com. I think we have a little flyer for them, you know, and give them a little shout out, because I ain't never heard of them before, and some of this stuff seems pretty dang decent. So right here, affordableturbokits.com. This is the funniest thing ever. They even have a PSR logo on it, which is pretty funny. PSR, man, if you guys want to send me a nice turbo, I would love a turbo that makes like 1,000 horsepower. Let me know. CX Racing intercooler. Oh, I don't gotta cut it, it's already open. Actually, this is the same intercooler we rocked in Project Blueberry. One side is offsetted, but it is a dual flow, so it goes in one way, goes down, cools off a second time, then it exits to either, you know, the intercooler top bottom. Doesn't matter which way you flip it, whatever which way fits better for your vehicle. If you got fog lights, if you want to go back door, if you want to go around the bumper, whatever the case is. But I know what we're going to do as far as this goes, but this is going to be based off of some of the charge piping. Can we see those, please? The charge piping, the kit literally came with 4 pieces. I don't know if it's prefab for this chassis or not, but it literally came with just 4 pieces. Lucky for him, I got a whole kit of brand new intercooler piping kit. Shout out to Max Pete and Rod. But we have this guy, not sure where this goes. And then we have this big 3-inch U guy, not sure where that goes. And then we have this guy, again, no idea where this goes. And then on top of that, we have this 3-inch guy, don't know where that goes. But I guess we're gonna puzzle this together. Hopefully some of you guys have played Tetris in your life and know how to put things together. But we have 4 pieces we got to figure out. Otherwise, you know what I'm saying, this is the beautiful part of having a TIG welding machine. So it came with this bracket I've never seen before. This is actually to bolt directly to an EK. You know what I'm saying? I guess we'll figure this out as well too. I've never seen this before. It's pretty cool. A product by CX Racing, so that's awesome. The cool thing is this kit came with black couplers. Most of these companies these days come with like, blue couplers, or they come with some literally like pipe hoses from freaking Home Depot. But you know, you can always trust CX Racing because they do have some really quality stuff. This is definitely one of the companies I always rock from eBay. You know, eBay is just a carrier, not the actual company, but all right guys, so the boys got the turbo and the wastegate on the manifold. We're gonna slap that in a minute, but before we did that, we had to relocate the fuel pressure regulator because this was mounted right there, and yeah, we need all the space we can get. I'm gonna take this off as well too. This is for the booster, which the hose is right here, and there's plenty length to like just move it down low, but we're definitely going to have to just change this to one long one instead of running it through a tube and running under here and the turbo and all that. I'd rather make it cleaner and just kind of ride it underneath. But anyways, fuel line and everything's all done. We flared the bottom, the 516 to a -6 tube adapter, -6 straight to a 180 right here. And this system is a 1 feed into the rail. Normally, I actually explained this on my brother's car. Normally you would run feed in, feed out, regulator, return, right? But this car came like this, and this car has been all motor for 3 years, so it worked out for him. But because it's going forced induction, didn't really have any spare parts to add a feed into the other side of the rail. We're kind of just going to have to work with what we got. So some of the fittings I did provide because, you know, just trying to get it to work in this area, needed to change a few fittings. So got that all sorted out. We got one to the rail, and plenty of space now for the turbo, aside from, again, this right here. One heater hose is going to work, the other one's not. So there's the reason why the coolant is not in the system, because I'm gonna have to modify this to kind of get it to either go underneath the wastegate or kick it out this way to run in line with this hose, because I have space if it was like stacked on top of each other, something like that. But I don't have any space if it was like this way. So we're gonna have to figure all this out once the manifold goes in. Everything is just loosely in case, you know, I gotta move it or cut or whatever the case. Right now I'm gonna wash my hands, and then we're gonna get the manifold stuck up on here so we can kind of see what the downpipe, dump tube, and all the good stuff under here is looking like. Sorry, all the stuff that's under here, what it's looking like. I'll be slurring too much. Hell no. This does not fit at all. Running into a dilemma right now, guys, with the turbo manifold. It's placing the turbo too close to the valve cover where it's actually hitting the water neck housing, the OEM unit. Now, if this had a billet water neck on the side of the head, this would clear. I remember with the Bull Boost manifold, I had to chop that a little bit to get the turbo to sit correctly. And it's a bigger frame turbo. This is smaller, but this manifold is putting the turbo too close that I don't know how much of it it's hitting. Right now, only this one is in, but you can see that this one is, I will probably say plus or minus like 1/2 inch or 3/4. It needs to come up. This comes up, that means the turbo comes down. That means it's gonna land literally on that block of aluminum right there. So we're trying to figure out something here. Trying to make this all work. I don't have a billet unit, can't get one right now anyways, and probably can't get one tomorrow either. But yeah, I'm kind of at a standstill right now, to be honest with you. But if you guys look down right there at the heater hose, it's pointed right at the wastegate, where the other one is actually going right through perfectly. But this one needs to be modified. If the billet unit, if we had it on hand, this whole entire situation would be solved, but that's not the case. So let's brainstorm a little bit. While we're over here struggling, this guy's over here cooking it up. You know what I mean? You went to Chavez? Got some freaking meat on the grill. My goodness. The good old days of cars and barbecue, man. I love those nights, but you know, life moves on, you know. And then when the boys travel many hours to get out here, shit, we definitely gonna make it happen. So kind of got an idea of what we're gonna do as far as the manifold and stuff goes. I'm gonna clean all my tools, and we're just gonna chop at it and give you guys small little updates along the way, because we're supposed to tune less than 24 hours and we don't even have a turbo kit in the car. Got this guy over here building a return line. Got this guy over here taking off miscellaneous brackets, but the feed line, we got it right here, teed off to the oil pressure switch. Turbo's loose because we need a clock to figure out our charge pipe system. So what I ended up doing was, I didn't show it to you guys, but his original fill neck, I took it off, and I had the old one from Project Blueberry's old engine. What I did was I chopped this entire section off right here, and then I welded the hole shut, not through this hole but on the outside, and pretty much gave us another like 2 inch of room to be able to bolt the turbo down. So if you look, it's pretty dang close, but we have clearance obviously because we can spin the turbo, right? So what he's going to do is, right now we're going to eliminate the heater hoses and the core, like unplugged, and then we're going to go through with the whole entire shebang, and then go to the dyno, and then later you're going to buy the billet unit because it's much slimmer, and then we're going to redo all the heater hoses so that way he can still retain heater, because you do drive it in the winter, so he wants to keep the luxury of having the heater. But for right now, we got to do what we got to do to get this thing rolling for tomorrow. We're trying to chip away at it. My old downpipe does sort of fit, just needs a minor mod, but I'd rather use that than to sit here and cut all night long to do a bunch of different angles and pies to get underneath the car. So we're going to use the old downpipe. Dump tube seems pretty straightforward. I kind of clocked that a little bit earlier. And intercooler, it's the easy fun stuff for me, to be honest. But right now, while they're doing all these little stuff, I'm going to figure out what's going on with his piping system, because the kit only came with 4 pieces. This one, these two are 3s, and then this is 2.5. I don't know what these are, but hey, this one has a freaking blow valve on it, a flange. Okay, that's cool. So we know this is something along the line of the cold side. I don't know, looks something like that. I don't know, we'll figure it out. So we're just chipping away at it, man. We just finished eating some fire, what is it? And some short ribs, and got a whole cooler right there of drinks. Staying hydrated. There's some leftovers, dude, there's leftovers. I'm trying hard to not freaking open that grill, but let's put some more work in. Yup, I did that. I did that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Looking good. Looking good.
Is the ECU in the car?
No, it's right there. We're all tired, guys. We're all tired.
I just thought of it.
Wait, hey, in a good sense, it primed all the oil because we just filled it back up.
Yeah.
So we were just priming oil, guys. We were just priming oil. We drained the oil out to do the return line, and he filled it back in. So I guess that was kind of a pre-prime before we fired the car over. We just finished installing the bumper. Everything is in the car. It is ready to rock and roll. It is super late, but I'm just stoked that we got this all done. And if you really calculate the hours, this was literally a 24-hour turbo kit plus fabrication install. So ready to hear this thing fire over. It's gonna be quiet actually, because I realized that this car has a 3-inch all the way to the LCA, then it's 2.5 to a 2.5 muffler. We're probably gonna have to lob it off at the dyno to make some power, or not cut it off, probably just like open downpipe and then put a 3-inch in the back. Fill it up with coolant and leave this thing out. I can't help it, guys. It's got a T51R mod, I just realized. Not bad. Not bad at all. Guys, this was supposed to be a one-day turbo kit installation, but like I said in the previous clips, even in the previous video, we ran into a lot of dilemma with this car. And you know what, at the end of the day, I'm glad we ran into it because we fixed all that crap, right? And we had to lay over the 3rd day. Today is the 3rd day that the car is here to button up the entire turbo kit. There was a few mods that we had to do, like water housing right there didn't allow the turbo to fit, so we had to delete the heater cord and all that. We have plans to put it back once you get the billet unit, but as far as everything else goes, you know, after fabricating everything, the installation going back into the car was all easy breezy. So the car is entirely put back together. It has been warming up. We got to go on a drive right now, 70+ miles to the dyno, but that's going to be the next video for you guys. I just want to say, you know, I run a lot of like off the shelf. I run a lot of like low end brand. I've run a lot of like no name brand, and a lot of times you got to take into account that when you run into when you decide you want to run those products, like you got to understand that it may not fit perfectly sometimes. Sometimes it actually ends up working out. Like maybe you wanted to put a billet neck on here before going turbo because it looks nice or whatever the case may be, and then you put a turbo kit on that's an off brand name and it fitted perfectly. But if you're running the stock unit like we are, you know, you got to do some mods to it. So this brand ATK, baby, ATK. Yeah, affordable turbo kits. My review on this, it was a lot to make it work. A lot of cheaper stuff that we're gonna change out along the way. The wastegate, the blow valve, all that stuff will work, but like I want to change this line out. The T-fitting on the back of the block, I don't trust it because it's aluminum instead of steel or brass. The O-ring for the wastegate is a little too big, so we had to like squeeze it in order for it to seal or even put the clamp on. They were sending us a bunch of couplers, but a lot of the couplers didn't even work for the setup. It came with a 3-inch tubing, but we refabbed and made a 2.5 because I think 3 inches overkill for the setup. This turbo kit works. It's just a lot of little things that we had to change out. You know, when you're looking at a price for like something like this, you spend like what? $2,200. It was almost complete, but like, you know, with $2,200 for me, I probably would have just built my own turbo kit and save a bunch of money there. But for the most part, at the end of the day, it's what you bought. We made it work. It's running and driving. And guess where we're going right now?
Dino.
Yes, sir. So I am going to wrap it up for this video. I'm sorry to leave you guys off on a filler, I guess. We got to hit the road, man. It's super late right now. It's like almost 10. I lied. It's 9 o'clock. We still got another hour drive, so we're gonna get there by 10, and we're gonna be tuning 2 cars, guys. 2 cars. My brother's car and Mario ZK. So in the next video, you guys are gonna see these 2 cars on the dyno. We're gonna wrap it up right here for this one though. So I hope you guys enjoyed this progress update on Mario ZK. This is the 2nd episode. There will be a 3rd with the dyno there. I hope you guys stick around and you know, check out that video when it drops. So if you guys enjoyed this video, man, be sure to leave a thumbs up, a like, a comment, all that fun stuff, man. Or we're gonna hit the road. I hope you guys stick around for the ride, because tomorrow I'm yapping too much, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys in the next video.